Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Mukhtasar al-Qudoori. We are going through the last section of Kitab al-Nikah. Next, we're going to start, inshallah, Kitab al-Rida. So, you ready for this, guys? My name is Yaqut Zaman. If you like my channel, hit the like button, subscribe button, and let's continue. So, إذا كان أحد الزوجين. So, أحد الزوجين, one of the two spouses. Okay, so again, you know what that means. مسلما فالولد على دينه وكذلك إن أسلم أحدهما. So أسلم means to accept Islam, and then walad means child, صغير means small, Sara became, إسلامه his acceptance of Islam. Right, so Islam translate here as his acceptance, the fi'l itself, the mustard. أسلم يسلم إسلام. وإن كان أحد الأبوين, أبوين is the same as زوجين. كتابيا والآخر مجوسيا. Okay, so كتابي مجوسي. فالولد كتابي. كتابي means أهل الكتاب. Right, so the people of the book. So Jews and Christians. وإذا تزوج الكافر بغير شهود. So تزوج, to get married, بغير شهود, without witnesses, without. أو في عدة الكافر, or in the idda, the waiting period of a kafir. في دينهم جاء ثم أسلم أقر. So this is going to be مجهول. أقر, they will be affirmed. Yeah, so أقر, they will be. What's a better translation then? أقر. Okay, so upheld, intact. It will be upheld. Let's say. Okay, I think upheld is a nice translation like that. وإذا تزوج المجوسي, Zoroastrian, مجوسي, أمه ابنته أسلما, both accept Islam. للرجل امرأة حرتان, free wives. يعدل عدل يعدل, to be just. القسم. So القسم is equality or sharing. Is that how we translate it? قسم. Yeah, so قسم, sharing. Yeah, okay, sharing. Yeah, so dividing, or let's do dividing. Dividing sounds nice. بكرين, virgin. ثيبين, non-virgin. Ama is a slave woman. Hurra is a free woman. Thuluthan is 2/3. Ama thuluth is a third. La haqqa, there's no entitlement, no right. Fil qasam, halat al-safar. Safar means journey. Hala means in the state. Safar yusafiru, travel. Az-zawj yafrugh, he completes or he ends. Yeah, so and yafrugh baynahum. Sorry, this is a mistake. This is yaqra. Okay, so this is a mistake, my friends. Do apologize. Let me know what's written in your books. Okay, so we're gonna have to get rid of this. I don't know how we can get rid of it. Can we get rid of it? Okay, we've got rid of it. Yeah, so يقرأ بينهما. In fact, let's see if I can fix this as well. يقرأ. Okay, يقرأ أسبع. So يقرأ is to draw lots. Okay, to draw lots. بينهما فيسافر بمن خرجت قرعته, from the same word as يقرأ. قرأ يقرأ, to draw lots. In رضيت, draw lots is like put names in the hat. رضيت, so happy زوجات بترك قسمها أو قسمها لصاحبتها. صاحبة means her co-partner, her co-wife. ترجع. Okay, so I think we've got the words there. Let's look at the Turkey part of it now. Okay, so وإذا كان أحد الزوجين مضاف مضاف إليه, and this becomes the ism of كان. مسلما is the khabar of كان. فالولد مبتدا على دينه جار مجرور. This is going to become the khabar. كذلك إن أسلم أحدهما, it's going to feel file. وله ولد, له is khabar مقدم. صغير is مبتدا مؤخر. صغير is the sifa of ولد. All that becomes the mubtada. Sara waladuhu. So Sara is fi'l naqis. Waladuhu is the ism of Sara. Musliman is going to be the khabar of it. بإسلامه جار مجرور وإن كان أحد الأبوين مضاف إليه كتابيا. It's going to be khabar. Let me know why it's كتابيا not كتابا. Why has it got this ya here for? What does that signify? والآخر مجوسيا عطف onto the أحد الأبوين. فالولد مبتدأ كتابي is going to be the khabar. وإذا تزوج الكافر بغير شهود مضاف إليه أو في عدة الكافر مضاف إليه في دينهم جائز ثم أسلم أقر. So this is, why have I done this? أقر عليه. وإذا تزوج المجوسي في الفاعل أمه مضاف إليه and مفعول به أو ابنته عطف onto أمه ثم أسلم فرق مجهول بينهما. وإذا كان للرجل امرأتان is going to be the ism of كان حرتان صفة فعليه أن يعدل بينهما في القسم بكرين كانتا. So بكرين is the خبر مقدم of كانتا أو ثيبتين is عطف أو إحداهما بكرا والأخرى ثيبا وإن كانت إحداهما والأخرى أمة. I think a word is missing here. Check. I apologize. I don't know why this word is missing here. So إن كانت إحداهما حرة. Alright, so let's put that there. حرة اسم الخبر والأخرى أمة فللحرة جار مجرور خبر مقدم ثلثان is the مبتدأ مؤخر من القسم والأمة الثلث. Okay, that's going to be خبر مقدم. ولا حق لهن. So لا نفي الجنس في القسم حالة السفر. Now let me know why it's منصوب. Who knows? ويسافر الزوج في الفاعل بمن شاء منهن والأولى مبتدأ أن يقرأ بينهن فيسافر بمن خرجت قرعتها وإن رضيت الزوجات بترك قسمها لصاحبتها جاز ولها أن ترجع في ذلك. Right, so again, I do apologize for the typos. If you guys do find typos, please let me know. Right, so let's have a look at what is this whole discussion about now. So this discussion is about, now you have to understand these masail are in a context of an Islamic state where you have governance taking place, where you have, the education system, finance system, you have different communities living, Muslims, non-Muslims, all of them living together under one roof, you can say. So there has to be some laws in place with regards to these domestic issues. So one of the issues is that, let's say, for example, there is a couple. How do we decide the religion of the child? So if you have a couple, how are we going to now decide what religion the child is going to be on? So let's put child here. Okay, how do we decide what religion the child is on? So the rule basically that you look at is whoever is considered to be on the dominant religion. So what is the dominant religion? So obviously if you're living in a Muslim country, Islam is going to be the dominant. And then number 2 is going to be Kitab, so Judaism or Christianity. And the second, number 3 is everything else. Okay, so everything else. So therefore, what are the possibilities of what could happen over here? So either the husband is a Muslim, so let's put Muslim there, and the woman is let's put Kitab, K for Kitab, right? So K for Kitab. So in that case, the child will automatically be M. Yeah, M. And if the father was a Muslim and the woman was a Muslim, then of course it's going to be Muslim. If the father was, let's say, a, I don't know, Jew or Christian, then it's going to be, the child's going to be Jew or Christian. And if one of the parents was considered to be a Jew or Christian, and the other one was considered to be, so let's draw this then. So let's say, for example, so let's do it like this. I think it'll be easier. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you have M, then Muslim. If you have MK, then it's Muslim. If you have K, Kitabi, then it's Kitabi. And number 4, if you have Kitabi and other, it's for O for other. Yeah, so O equals other. If you have O other, so M, K, O. And then in that case, it's going to be K. And then if you have O and O, then it's going to be O, like that. Right? So the child's religion is basically going to be based upon the dominant of the parent. So whatever the dominant parent is. So إذا كان أحد الزوجين, when one of the two spouses is Musliman, فالولد على دينه, then the child will be considered to be on the religion of that particular dominant parent. وكذلك, and likewise, in أسلم أحدهما, if one of the parents was to accept Islam even, وله ولد صغير, and he has a minor child under the age of puberty, صار ولده, then legally the courts will recognize his child as being a Muslim. بإسلامه, through the Islam, by virtue of the Islam of that particular parent. Right? So over here, because they're both Muslim, okay. In this one, the one of them is Muslim, okay. So it's basically like legal issues where, let's say, for example, the child dies or something, passes away. How are they going to treat the child? What rules are they going to apply to it? So they would apply to it the rules of Islam, like that. وإن كان أحد الأبوين, however, if one of the two parents is kitabiyan, right, والآخر مجوسيا, and the other one is a Majusi, fire worshipper, so kitabi and other, then in that case, فالولد kitabiyun, the child will be treated as a kitabi. Right? So this is the rule they're going to use as a government. Of course, if they don't get the government involved and they were to treat the child in whatever way they want, that's fine. But we're just looking at it from the point of view of inheritance and other things as well. Because remember, a Muslim can inherit from a Muslim, but a Muslim cannot inherit from a non-Muslim. Right? So we're going to be looking at it from that point of view as well. All right, so that's the status of the child now is done now. Okay, let's have a look at the next masla. So the next masla now, what is this masla? This masla is to do with people who have accepted Islam people who have married each other but they have a different religion. So let's say, for example, I don't know, this is a timeline. So let's say this was the year 2000, and this is 2010, and this is 2020, and this is 2026. Okay, so let's say there's a couple. They both got married, and they were both, I don't know, Hindu. Right, this is put Hindu there. So H for Hindu, Hindus. They got married, and the area of the world that they got married in, they recognized that marriage. So legally, in that part of the world, that was a recognized marriage in that culture, in that community, it was recognized. So now, this couple, this is going to be considered to be recognized if they were to move to a Muslim state now. So they've come to a Muslim country, so Muslim state, and now they're living over here. So are the courts going to recognize that previous marriage, or they're going to say to them, no, we don't recognize this as marriage, you're going to have to do the marriage again? No. The courts will recognize this Hindu marriage and say, well, as long as it was okay where you were, then it's fine. Even if when they got married, there was no witnesses. So remember, we have to have witnesses in ours. So there was no witnesses. And let's say she got married in Iddah, in the waiting period. And we don't allow that. So even if they did all these things that go against our rules. So in other words, do the non-Muslims have to abide by our rules of marriage to be recognized as a married couple? We say no. You don't have to have all of that. The only condition that we do have is if it's a categorically wrong marriage. And what is a categorically wrong marriage? So a categorically wrong marriage would be a marriage which they have, for example, like incest marriage. An incest marriage takes place. So let's say, for example, these two couple of father and daughter, or brother and sister, and they came to a Muslim country. Muslims would not recognize that marriage. So this would not be recognized. Okay? That kind of marriage would not be recognized. Or for example, let's say, I don't know, someone married a donkey or something. Obviously, Islam does not recognize marriages between a human and a donkey. Those kind of marriages would not be considered to be recognized. All right. So, وَإِذَا تَزَوَّجَ الْكَافِرُ. So if a kafir, right? So over here, like over here, they marry each other. بِغَيْرِ شُهُودٍ, without any witnesses at all. So they don't fulfill our conditions. أو في إدة الكافر, or in the idda of another kafir, as in there's a woman and she was already married to another man, and then she was divorced from him, and then she was in an idda and this guy married her. وَذَلِكَ فِي دِينِهِمْ جَائِزٌ, and that in their religion is considered to be valid. Right? It's like over here in this country. If someone was to marry in this country and they went to a Muslim country, they recognize them. ثُمَّ أَسْلَمَا. Okay. So now if they accept Islam, they don't have to repeat their marriage again. So if they're Hindu, fine, the marriage will be intact. Now if they both accept Islam, I'm going to put that here as well. So they accept Islam, then the marriage will be considered to be intact. أُقِرَّ عَلَيْهِ, the marriage will be upheld, even though if someone asks them, did you do a marriage in an Islamic way? They're going to say, not technically Islamic way. We got married in a Hindu way, around a fire, or wherever they do, around the rituals they do around the idols. But it's recognized in a... وَإِذَا تَزَوَّجَ الْمُجُوسِ, have a Majusi, fire worshipper, Zoroastrian, was to marry his mother or his daughter over here. ثُمَّ أَسْلَمَا, and then they come to a Muslim country, accept Islam, or even in a non-Muslim country. فُرِّقَ بَيْنَهُمَا, they will have to be separated as husband and wife. They can't live together as husband and wife. Right? So that won't be recognized. Everyone understand this? Right, next masla now. Alright, so now this next masla is to do with multiple wives. How do you deal if a man has multiple wives? Right, how does a man with multiple wives, how does he manage? Yeah, so let's say, for example, there is a woman, let's say there's two. So these are the various scenarios that you can obviously have. You can have 2, 3, 4, free women. So we can call these free. F for free. That's number one. Or you could have 2 wives and both wives are considered to be slave women. So SS. Or you could have number 3, which is one is a free woman. So remember, and one is a slave woman. Okay, so this one's slave, and this one's free. Now, I've deliberately put the free woman at second because remember, you can't marry a slave woman as a second wife. Do you remember that? Or you forgotten? Okay, so in this case, the guy, he has to do what is known as Qasm. So Qasm basically means he has to call this Qasm. He has to do equality between them. He has to be fair between them. Right, now, what thing does he have to be fairness in? In spending the nights. Now, he doesn't have to have sexual intercourse with them, but he just has to spend the night with them. So, therefore, let's say, for example, like this was the week. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, if he's got 2 wives then, so what he's going to basically do is he's going to, let's say, for example, he's going to have one. So, let's call her, I don't know, let's see what Zainab and... Okay, let's just put Z here, Zainab, and Tuesday Fatima, Wednesday Zainab, Fatima, Friday Zainab, Fatima, like that. Okay, Zainab and then Fatima, etc. So every other day, he's gonna have Fatima. Every other day, he's gonna have Zainab. Or he can just do by week. 1 week Zainab, 1 week Fatima. Or he can do by month, whatever they're happy with. But this is called Qasm. Right? This is the whole process of Qasm. So if the 2 wives are free women, then division between them is going to be 1 to 1. Yeah, so basically 1 night, 1 night, 1 night, 1 night, 1 week, 1 week, 1 month, 1 month, like that. And if it's slave woman, the same, 1 to 1. But if it's a slave woman and a free woman, then in that case it's going to be 1 to 2. Yeah, so therefore now that the free woman, in this case, she's going to have 2 nights. So let's call her, for example, Zainab. Zainab's going to have 2 nights. And the slave woman, let's call her Fatima, she's going to have 1 night. So ZZF, ZZF, like that. Yeah, she's going to have, so basically it's going to be a 2/3 to 1/3. Okay, that's basically what it's about. So إذا كان للرجل, so if a man has imra'atani, 2 free wives, like in this case, فعليه أن يعدل, then it's necessary upon him to be just between the two, في القسم, in sharing the nights. بكرين, whether the wives are both virgins, كانتا أو ثيبتين, or non-virgins. أو إحداهما, or one of them is a bikr, one of them is a virgin, or other is a non-virgin. In other words, Hanafis do not distinguish between this. Yeah, Hanafis. Now, there are some hadith which mention that if a man marries a second wife, he should spend 3 days if she's a non-virgin, and 7 days if she's a virgin, and then share those days again, right? And recalibrate those days and make it equal. It's basically you spend a bit more time with your new wife so she gets used to the marriage, and then those days you have to share them back with the other wife, right? So if you've done 7 days with this new wife, those 7 days the other wife's going to calculate, and she's going to take those days. Okay. وإن كانت, however, if one of them is a free woman, like in this case, and the other one, والأخرى أمة, فللحرة ثلثان, the hurra is going to get 2/3 من القسم, from the share, والأمة الثلث, and the amma is going to get, the slave woman is going to get 1, right? So 2/3, so therefore, like this. Okay, so it's going to be like that. Whereas this one was every other day, 1, 1, 1, 1. This is 1, 2. Okay, now, is there any time when these nights, when it comes to these nights, this rule will be uplifted? Is there any time when this is uplifted? Yes. One of the times it will be uplifted is going to be when there is a journey. So let's say, for example, the husband is going to travel on a journey, right? So he's going to go somewhere on a long journey, and he's got these 2 wives. What you can do basically is he can take whichever one he wants, and then on that journey, let's say he's gone for 1 month. That means 1 month he's going to be spending nights with this one wife. He doesn't have to make them up with the other wife when he comes back. All right, so those 30 days that he spent over there do not have to be redistributed with the other wife. Okay, so the other wife does not get those back. And this is just a rule. Now, how does he choose which wife he's going to go with? There's no real rule. He can choose anyone he wants. But just to not make them upset, what he can do is he can put their names into a hat. So let's say this is a hat. And he takes out, it's called qur'a. Okay, so you call this lots. Qur'a. Right, so you draw lots just to try to not make them really upset that there's some bias going on. If she comes back, it's going to have a headache. Otherwise, going to tell him off that, you always take this wife with you. So it's just to roll a dice or something, or some piece of paper, just to kind of make it a bit more fair, right? Okay. So, ولا حق, and there is no right لهن في القسم, for them in sharing, حالة السفر, on a journey. So on a journey he can do whatever he wants, even if he takes both of them with him on the journey. He doesn't have to split the nights. ويسافر الزوج, and the husband can travel بمن شاء, whichever one he wants, منهن. والأولى, however, it's more preferred أن يقرأ, for him to draw lots, draw names, بينهن, between them. فيسافر, and therefore he travels بمن خرجت, with the one whose قرعة, whose name comes out, whose lot comes out, like a raffle ticket. Okay, finally, last masla. Let's say a man has multiple wives, and one of his wives wants to give up her night. So she can give up her night, but she can always ask for it back now. Right? So basically what that means is, so let's say, for instance, there is a wife. Right? So let's say, for example, this wife. So she normally gets 1, 2, like that. Right? So let's say, for example, this 1 month, she's not feeling well, or she's going somewhere. She goes, I'll give my nights to the other wife. So now what would happen is, because she's given up her nights for the other wife, then the other wife will now have the rights for that. All right, so she's going to have, let's say, all those days. She's going to get those days. Now, whenever this first wife wants her nights back, she can't ask for all the nights that have been taken. But from that day on, she can restart and start having her nights again. Yeah, so that wife can ask for her nights back again. Make sense? Okay, so let's. وَإِنْ رَضِيَتْ الزَّوْجَاتُ, and if the wives are happy بِتَرْكِ قَسَمِهَا, by leaving their share لِصَاحِبَتِهَا, for their co-partner, for the co-wife, جَازَ, this is totally jaiz. However, لَهَا, she still has the right أن ترجع في ذلك, to take that back. So she can't take back all the days that she's given the other wife, but from that day on now in the future, she has equal rights again now. Now, this is something one of the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, Sauda, she wanted to give her rights for Aisha radiallahu anha. So Aisha radiallahu anha would get two nights. So the Prophet ﷺ accepted it. Right now, if at any time Sauda wanted to have nights again, she has the right to ask for nights again. But she can't take back all the nights that she's already given to the other wife. And that's it basically. This is Kitab al-Nikah. I hope you guys enjoyed Kitab al-Nikah. Let's see what Kitab al-Nikah is all about then. So in today's lesson, what was it about? So we discussed the issue of the dominant religion. So whichever parent has the dominant religion, the child will follow that religion until it reaches puberty. After puberty, the child makes its own decision. Okay. And what about when it comes to the issue of a couple who are non-Muslim, got married, and then they move to a Muslim country or they accept Islam? What's going to happen? So the courts will recognize their previous marriage even if it does not fulfill the criteria of a Muslim marriage. The only time they won't accept it is if it's an incestual marriage. So if it's a marriage of incest, then no, because that's something which pretty much all Abrahamic religions do not accept. Okay, and what about the issue of if a man has multiple wives, and how does he divide the nights? So this is called Qasm, and he divides the nights. He doesn't have to divide the funds, okay, or expenditure, right? So the houses they live in could be different, and the expenditure could be different depending on their status, but it's the nights they have to spend. What if it's a free woman, then 1-to-1, and a free woman, a slave, then it's 2-to-1. Okay, what about if he's going on a journey, so he doesn't have to share the nights, and he chooses whoever he wants to go? Ideally, he should draw lots. And what about if one wants to give her night up for the other wife? That's totally fine as well, but she can ask for it anytime back. And that's it, guys. Let's have a look at some questions then. Okay, here are some questions then you guys can check out. If a Zoroastrian father accepts Islam, what is the immediate legal classification of his minor child's religion under Hanafi law? If a Christian man marries a Zoroastrian woman, how is the religious status of their offspring determined according to the text? What is the general Hanafi rule on non-Muslim couples whose conversion enters Islam after having contracted a marriage without witnesses? What is the single major exception for this validation principle mentioned in the passage? How does a classical Hanafi look? You can check the rest of it yourself. Yeah. Jazakumullah khair, guys, for watching this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And let me know, inshallah, what you guys think of these. And please, if you want to help my channel, please hit the like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share my videos. I know you guys watch the videos, but if you help me with my channel will grow, and then more people benefit from my channel. And if you want to help me more with my channel, then you can become a patron. On the screen, there should be a symbol, or in the description, a link to Patreon where you can make monthly donations toward my channel, help my channel to grow as well. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.